What's good, Dokkan Ninja Turtles? We are back to talk about Dokkan 2, but we're actually really going to focus more on the animations and stuff like that because I do think Dokkan is kind of deceiving the community, but in a very good way. And what I mean by that is a way of like they're not trying to show their full hand exactly of the animations that we should be receiving next week. That is probably the best way to really say this one, to sort of describe that, is like in a good way of deceptive, not like in a bad way. This is like a good thing because again, they don't want to show their full on hand of everything that is definitely going to come to this game. So listen up, Dokkan has been getting a whole lot of new players in the game since the updates for everything that's been going on. They have seriously been ramping up the productions for all of the social media stuff, and more people are flooding into YouTube to be a part of the community. So if you are new to the channel and you like what you see, sub up and turn on notifications where you get notified when we go live and put up more videos, because I promise you we will definitely be live for all this one, so we can break down so many different things that's coming to the game when we get this update. So one of the things I want to like sort of regurgitate a little bit more is that the basic effects and stuff like that. Like this is like, I know most people are going to really want the animations to see how the animations are and blah blah blah, but for the Dokkan nerds, for the Donatello Ninja Turtles out there, including myself, I'm wearing purple just to even show you, I love this the most. And like I said, I wanted to go back and look at this because I feel like when Dokkan does this update and stuff like that, and how they have like everything with base, and then everything's just basically broke down to so you can basically see what's going to be happening with the units, with status effects and stuff like that. Like this is the best sort of thing that's going to help a lot of new players, because not only would it be easier to sort of track your character and how they're sort of like performing in the game, so you can actually get to see exactly what's buffed and how the buffs is, what's stacking and stuff like that, and also support, because in anything when it comes to support or anything like that, or a status effect, I do think it's just going to be your basic effects that's actually going to be affected the most out of this one. So like I said, with this Goku right here that they're showing, this attack and defense 200%, you can see that it's up. And I feel like, well, if a status effect like an enemy hits you and defense down or attack down, or if it does both or whatever, like you'll see that sort of go down. So it'll just be your actual base stat that actually gets affected with this one. And then like it might have like status effect that pops in and stuff like that on the side to show you like, hey, this is happening right there, or yada yada yada, like your character sealed or you're stunned or whatever. I do think that's going to be the case that's going to happen with this one. It's going to help so many people, whether you're new or an OG in the community, help you out the most when you're looking at your units. That way you can sort of track how good and how bad your unit is necessarily really performing in an event, which, like I said, one of the best things. But we're going to go ahead and let this play on out, because I want them to sort of talk about all the things that's going to be coming up, and then I'm going to give my take in on the animations where I'm talking about sort of deceptive stuff and sort of break it down a little bit more than I did where I was live, and probably in another video. Like I want to actually go through and show you a little bit more.
Like Ken explained, our goal for the future is to grab the chance of the 10th anniversary to make people able to understand and enjoy the game more easily.
Which I think will happen.
We will make periodical updates based on your opinions more frequently. So please let us know your thoughts.
The next topic will be the improvements to the game screens. In Dokkan Battle, we haven't made many changes to the battle screen since the release of the game, but after 10 long years, we would like to allow our users to enjoy it for even longer, so we decided to update it to this time. Take a look.
So another thing that I'm going to go ahead and say right there again, like sort of regurgitate, is again, like they're not going to show us their full on hand, and they're just going to talk about in that December producer letter we're currently watching right here, is they're not going to show us anything or talk about anything when it comes to like summon animations and stuff like that. For all we know, they do talk about UI changes and stuff like that that's been updated to the game. You can see the interface has changed. Like it's better looking. It's definitely going to run a lot smoother and stuff like that, which is one of the things that whenever I personally look at a animation for a new unit and stuff like that, when it comes to it, I'm always saying, if you've been on the channel for a while, you know, I'm always looking to see how fluent the character animations are. Like the fluidity of it. Like, does it flow better than the cards that just came out? Because that signifies like a massive update to them and what they're doing with the animations. And like I said, with what we're seeing for the gameplay and stuff like that, if you haven't currently already seen this already, then prepare to see it. But it shows that we're running into the era where they wanted it to be sort of like, again, Dokkan out of their own mouth when they say is they want it to be more Dragon Ball Z sort of inspired. Like they want it to be more of the Dragon Ball Z like experience that you're getting from the game. And like I said, with the animation that we've seen, again, I will say this: we only seen the basics of those animations. I 100% will tell you that right now. There's a reason why they only showed Goku and also Vegeta. But for the other stuff with that's not animation wise in terms of like gameplay, there's a reason why. Like, we're definitely getting new summon animations with all these UI updates and stuff like that. We're definitely getting new summon animations. And that's one of the reasons why I said at the beginning of this that they did not want to show us their whole hand right now. And I do think we will be getting another January producer letter that might lead into that a little bit more. And if they even don't at that point, again, there's still the live stream for the 10th year anniversary. And that might be one of the big things that they show them besides the units for the first part and maybe some new events and stuff like that, because by then we will have this update. We will have this update. So again, they could be like, hey, it's not in the data files for the data download, and we're going to wait until then you're going to get your new updates for your animations or summons and stuff like that. So again, I do not think Dokkan whatsoever at all has been showing their full-on hand, and I think most people can necessarily agree with that. They're not showing their full-on hand when it comes to all this stuff. This is why I said, again, you'll see that I do think it's a lot more deceiving of them, but in a good way. So again, like, with these sprites and how, again, like all the character sprites are better, even the cards themselves and their actual icons look better. Like everything on here looks better. Like the backgrounds look amazing. Like actually being able to have the new domains and stuff like that, they're probably going to look so much more crispy in the game and feel like you're actually fighting in there a lot more, especially with these simulated fights that we're actually going to see here in a second. Like, you're going to see that it's going to feel like you're actually fighting in these areas, which is one of the dope things with a domain that I think most people are going to be more excited for, because again, it's a domain. It happens. You want to be fighting in that area a lot more and not just doing the same animations, and then that's really it. And that's the reason why I think that with everything that we've seen, even better for it. Hopefully I'm making sense with this for you.
What are your thoughts? We think you have already noticed many changes if you are a frequent player, but we have changed various parts from the battle start screen to the parts after it ends and given them a more immersive look.
Remember, immersive.
There are two main changes. First, general UI adjustments that make it easier to check information during battle. Second, we will renew the visuals in battles to provide a more immersive feel.
There it is again.
Also, as some of you may have noticed while watching the video, the normal attack animations have been renewed with the goal of having dynamic animations that will give the battling characters a more Dragon Ball-like nature.
So again, this is one of the reasons why I'm going to sit here and say this. When it comes to the full-on deceptive and in a good way, they showed us the basics, the absolute basics. Now, I want you to hear me out. This isn't all like in one like fight. This isn't. They're basically shows you the different strings of attacks. So let me sort of break it down for a lot of other people when it comes to people that play fighting games. Then you may know where I'm going with this. But when you play a fighting game and you have your character that you play as, you have your strings of fight. So you have multiple different strings that you can use. And then you have your ender. Your ender is your special move or your super attacks and stuff like that. Now, they said they want dynamic and immersive gameplay from Dragon Ball Light. Let me go ahead and say this. The reason why I've literally been talking about the Super Saiyan 4s and it's so much and characters that counter so much in the game is because last year we got like what, 2 characters that actually counter, which was Ultra Instinct Goku, and then we got Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. And remember when Gotenks came out, it was like when you were reading it for the counter, you were like, huh, what? And like even I said, I was like, huh, what? That's kind of weird. And then I seen it and I was like, oh, he has to get hit first to do the counter, and it has to be a key blast attack for that. I was like, oh, that's a little weird and interesting. I like it. I like that. Normally, you would not get that to actually happen. You wouldn't get hit really with the counter unless, again, it's a normal attack, right? Okay. So the reason why I feel like they never touched that at all was, again, Super Saiyan 4s and stuff like that counter super attacks is because they didn't know how to necessarily implement it in to the game at that point in time. And they were like working on it all year because they were like, okay, we know what we're going to do for the 10th year anniversary. I'm still holding out for a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Would make sense on that one. But the reason why they were doing it was like, okay, we don't know. We need more time. And then we got these animations. Well, let's not give them all the best animations that we know that we have. And let's stick with 2 basic characters right now. Because again, these animations are going to get better and better and better, more crispy. And also with each character, they're probably going to look a whole lot different. For instance, like if I go with Vegito counters normal attacks. So let's talk about a couple of these different things right here. Because there's so many different strings. You have your normal punches. You have your actual combo where Goku actually comes in with a punch and then ends off with a key blast. You have those. So boom, there that is. Now, if you notice the impact of that punch that Vegeta landed on the Goku, like if you seen that, I feel like this might be going into your card. So for instance, like when you have your additionals, you have your counters, you have your dodges, like you have all of that stuff going on with your character, right? So if this is a situation that, like, if your character already has, like, say it already has a high guard. For instance, I'm just spitballing here, but with this Vegeta, this could be a situation where that first punch landed, and then after that was he lowered your defense. So right after that, this would explain why then those attacks hit. And this could be all of those attacks. So for instance, they want dynamic and immersive gameplay. And the thing that you do not want to do when you introduce something like that is break up the animations. You do not want to break up your animations when it comes to that. You want them to flow. So for instance, like where you have like Vegeta start in on his attacks, every one of Vegeta's attacks that he's landing could be an actual attack that he's supposed to be doing in that said turn. So for instance, if he has like 3 or 4 attacks that he's doing in that said turn, then there you go. You have your one, you have your attack, your attack, your attack, your attack, and then you go to your attack. And then if he's in, like, again, the second little slot in between the first and second slot right here, which you'll see a little bit after this, like, it could mean like, oh, okay, there's him coming in again. This right here, that could be your dodge. So for instance, like if he had his 3 or 4 attacks that he was going to do on you, you just dodged every last one of them, right? Now you have a counter. You see how you had the impact for that as well too? That could be indicating your, I'm going to say this because what we have right now for when we know that we're going to get a crit is that it goes dark. It flashes like dark a little bit. And then you know, oh, I'm getting my crit. I'm getting my counter. You know, I'm getting my dodge. What if that's the case here? That's indicating those sort of things. Like, okay, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that. Oh, here's your crit. You got the impact on it. Here's your crit. Like, what if it's a certain situation of that? Because at the end of the day, if you're going with dynamic or you're going with fluid, like, I'm going to regurgitate this. You do not want to break up those animations. You want it to flow. That way, the sort of the turn goes by faster. It's more simulated. You get your animations. It looks cooler. You get what I'm saying here. This is why I'm saying that when it comes to those situations with those counters and stuff like that, you could have a situation where it's like with Vegito. Again, I'm going to use Vegito because we all know Vegito's the king of counters when it comes to normal attacks and stuff like that. Every one of his, when he's coming in, it could be like, you see, look, this could be like him about to attack. And then actually, so for Vegito, he could zoom, do his zoom with his key blade each time. So boom, he hits, like he dodges, he hits again. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's like it. So he gets hit each time. Like I said, even with this one right here, you see where he gets hit right here. You get that impact. Like, it could be a certain situation like that. And with each character model, then they look different. So for instance, like if you have your Ultra Instinct Goku and he's dodging, it's Ultra Instinct Goku, so he might have a different sort of dodge. Like I said, all these characters could have different strengths. There's a reason why Super 17 wasn't necessary to touch whatsoever at all, because again, he might have some kind of animation on his as well too, where it looks kind of like Gotenks, but like he's just holding his arms out with the Ki Blast, and then he can't get hit. So when they're flying around, and Vegeta was out here throwing Ki Blast, where's it at? I want to say it was somewhere around through here. Yeah, like right here. This, like all these that's hitting right here. Well, excuse me, not even hitting. Like, this could just be like Super 17, like holding his hands out and absorbing. And then that would work with his character going forward, yada, yada, yada. Like, I hope that what I'm saying is sort of like coming across as somewhat easy to understand. And like I said, with people in the comments, like you guys are a lot more smarter when it comes to certain things. Like you could probably explain a little bit more in the comments what I'm trying to say if you can't necessarily understand it. But basically what I'm saying is all of these are all the basic animations of what you're seeing. And with and again, some of these are withheld. Like we ain't seeing all of these animations. I can promise you that. We are definitely not seeing all of them here. And with every character, they're going to be a little different each time, which will give the character its uniqueness. Because again, all the characters that are, say, Vegito Blue will probably have and look like that with those models. This is one of the reasons why they said they were going to continue to update them going forward. So when you get your Gogetas and stuff like that, Gogeta might have a different dodge, and then all of those Gogetas will have those different dodges and do things like that. Same thing with like Ultra Instinct Gokus. And then the Master Ultra Instinct Gokus, like, you know, your Beast Gohans, your Gohans, like all of them will have their own sort of fighting styles in the way through it. And like I said, with Vegeta, we all know Vegeta's more key person. So they showed us one of Vegeta, but Vegeta might have multiple different. And we're just like, again, seeing the only two strings that they want to show us right here that are basic. So what I'm hoping is that either with the producer letter, we get to see a little bit more of the animations, or during the live stream, they kind of sort of go all out and they show us a lot more like upgraded animations, especially with the new 10-year anniversary units. That would be one of the biggest tellings if this video that I'm making currently right now is going to stand on business and basically age well. If we see that, then you know that, hey, all these other characters are going to come in. They're going to elevate. They're going to look differently. And like I said, I want it to be more of like out there, but it's just the more I looked at this and the more I keep seeing it, the more I'm like, yeah, this makes perfect sense of why, like, again, we weren't seeing certain things. Like why, you know, Super Saiyan 4s weren't touched. Why we didn't get a whole lot of counters and stuff like that, because they wanted to save that stuff for new Dokkan so they can implement it in at that point in time. And again, like when it comes to this gameplay that you're seeing right now, counter units are probably going to be absolutely broken. Like, let's be honest here. Like counter units and definitely dodge units are going to be absolutely insane and fun to watch that sort of dynamic, immersive Dragon Ball like gameplay. Like, and this is what we're necessarily looking forward to seeing, and why I'm so pretty much stoked of seeing everything that we're going to be getting for the 10-year anniversary. Because, like I said, those units are going to look better than all these animations that we actually seen. This is the basics. Like, this is Dokkan deceiving you to think like, oh, these animations are probably all going to look the same like this for all the characters. But no, they're not. No, they're not. There's a reason why they said they want to keep updating this. There's a reason why on that one. And with all the updates that's going to be coming out after the 10-year anniversary and stuff like that, because you got to remember, like, the 10-year anniversary is only one part of this year that's a meta change. And then you got the worldwide celebration that's another meta change. And at this point in time, if you were here for the worldwide celebration last year, you literally already know that ain't Cap. Like, it's different. Look at Broly when he first came out. We got a character that literally you could choose to transform him right then and there or not. Like there's a lot of things that you can necessarily do with it. And I'm expecting to see even more of this. And like I said, with other characters that haven't been done currently right in the game right now, I'm expecting them to be done in this meta. I'm looking at you, Super 17, a lot better. Like, that's all I'm going to say for this one. You can let me know in the comment section below if you agree, you disagree, and if what you're looking for the most to see in animation wise. And like I said, if you can explain this a little bit better in the comment section than I did in a 20-something minute video, please, by all means, do. Like, I definitely would like to see you guys' takes on all of these animations talk that I've been talking about in this video. But let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel. Have an awesome day / night. Stay safe. Get ready. Get ready. Because next week, it ramps up a lot. Peace.